In this lesson, we're heading back into blues territory with a minor pentatonic melody against a bass. Check it out. First of all, the licks themselves. This is a slide, but it's a controlled slide. Notice my fingering. Now I'm using my ring finger to play this 3rd fret note here. And part of the reason I'm doing that is then I can just jump right over and get the 3rd fret of the B string and glide on up. If you find the glide challenging, keep 2 things in mind. Number 1, we want to be on the fingertips. This gives us good pressure, consistent pressure on the fingerboard without your having to really squeeze it. And then I'm using my arm to move up to the 5th fret here. So this is not really the fingertip leading at all. This is the arm moving the hand, using free strokes in the right hand. And in this case, this is another situation where if you played it all with one finger, it would be stylistically completely appropriate. We're not going to worry too much about it. You will probably find that index and middle work just fine. But you may at this point have begun to notice that one finger might feel better than another. And I will say this, that if we're playing, say, for example, 6 and 1 together, depending on the length of your fingers, it might be easier to reach that 1st string with the middle finger than it is with index. And if that's because of the actual shape of your hand, then you are making a perfectly sound decision based on what works. I am playing M and I here. And when I bring the thumb into this, we have a 1/4 note timekeeper bass line. And we need to pay attention to when things happen together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So I'm repeating my middle finger for the E string notes. Then using my index to get the B string note. And notice how right after that slide, the thumb has to follow because the slide is on an offbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and immediately I need the next downbeat low E played by the thumb. And then let's say we want to use the middle finger to slide into the 4th fret, but this is a pinch, and then slide back, pinch again, same 2 fingers, same 2 strings. I'm using thumb and index to pluck, and then open string and move the finger over. So the second half of that lick is so. Probably the most efficient fingering here would be middle, 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 index, and then move the middle over, index, middle, index, so that we can get this pinch of the D string 2nd fret and the low E together. But if this is index, that's okay. If this is middle, that's okay. Index, middle, that works too. We just need to be able to end up on this octave. Almost the same lick. But from here, middle finger 4th fret, index finger 3rd fret of the 2nd string, thumb follows, and open E. Listen to the timing. 2 and 3, 4. That's syncopated. Now, thumb goes to an A bass. Same lick. And just like where we started, sliding into the 4th fret, but adding 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Notice how the index finger lands there. Sliding up with middle puts this finger in a perfect position to grab that note. Come back. And then index finger over here gets the 2nd fret B. These are all together. And E's, 2, 3. In context, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. One last detail I want to point out here, next to the last bar, my fingering is index pinky just because it lands comfortably. You could use index ring, nothing wrong with that, but since I'm coming from doing a lot of repetition, I've got my middle finger sitting here on the D string. 1 and 4 are right here. And then I am. As I said, in the blues style, you could use one finger for every one of those melody notes in terms of the plucking, I mean, and it would be completely appropriate. This is the kind of thing you will see when you watch old blues players or people who have learned in the traditional style. So when we learn specifics of when one alternates fingers and how one works out, or picking hand, fingering, there's different things at play here. There is the efficiency idea, the smoothness idea, having the fingers in the right place over the notes you need so that your preparation is nice and smooth. But at the same time, in certain settings, that just becomes too fussy. And so the hook of thumb and finger in a lot of situations works out just fine. As you explore, you're going to figure out what works for you.